Good morning, Priest Lake. I haven't done a video in a while. Sorry about that. But as I was out walking this morning, and I'm still in my walking clothes, something happened that I felt like it was important to share. And let me say at the beginning, this is not going to be some brilliant insight or some world-changing thing, and yet it may be exactly the kind of thing that becomes a world-changing thing if we listen. Like most of you, I've just been really grieved over the last several days watching the video of the terrible death of George Floyd, hearing the pain and just the frustration, I think, of many of our African American brothers and sisters, particularly, who are facing the same problem again and again and again. And also the grief of seeing how peaceful protests get co-opted by a few idiots and turned into riots or looting or burning. And I just look at those things and I grieve. How long, O Lord? And I know for me, it is easy to look at the huge events and say, God, I just don't know what to do. And I don't know what to do. And yet I think if we'll listen. So that this morning I was out for a walk through the neighborhood like I've been doing most mornings for the last several weeks. And I try to just wave and smile at people as they go by. I figure everybody needs a smile if they can get it. And as I walk by down one dead-end street, an African-American gentleman, a little bit older than I am, I think, got out of his van and started working in his yard. And I said, "Good morning, how are you?" He said, I'm blessed. And I said, "Me too, God bless you." And just kept going on my walk. And by the time I got to the end of the dead end, I really felt like the Holy Spirit was saying, you need to turn around and go back and just tell that man you're sorry. And like I often do, I went back and forth with the Lord for a few seconds, really, in this case. And I turned around and walked back and just went up to him and said, "Sir, excuse me, can I just tell you, I'm sorry. White people have done a bad job. We've not been who we were supposed to be. And I'm really sorry about that." And his response was so gracious. I think his response was something like, we've all got to find the love and peace that comes from God in this. And he said, and I really appreciate that. And I appreciate that apology. And I accept it. And I'm glad to have you, brother. Anytime you're by this end of the street, you just stop in and say hi. Now let me be clear. Just the act of being polite and kind, or even apologizing to your neighbor, is not going to solve all this. Neither will posting a social media status, neither will marching in a protest. But there are things that we can do, and I'm convinced that the Holy Spirit knows what those are better than we do. So if you feel Him leading you to make a social media statement, do that. That's not generally where I feel led, but I could be wrong. If He calls you. Now, guys, I'm not encouraging everybody to get up right now and go walk around your neighborhood and find somebody to say something to. No, you do what the Holy Spirit is calling you to do. And that may mean having a difficult conversation with somebody at work that's exhibiting some attitudes that are not right. That may mean taking some kind of political or legislative action. I think God's probably going to call us on this issue, like so many others, to respond in different ways. But boy, God does want to address both the individual racists and the systemic racism that are part of our culture and our way of life. And none of us are likely to do the thing that solves all of it. But if we will listen and if we will respond, and we'll make mistakes in doing that I could have been dead wrong this morning. As it turned out, I don't think I was. I might be dead wrong next time. But if we will listen and act, God will use that to do the things that really only He can do, to change hearts and minds and structures and societies in ways that we desperately need. So I hope you can hear what my heart is in this, and I hope that you'll listen to whatever it is that the Holy Spirit is telling you to do. May the Lord's peace and love be on you today as you follow Him.